Hi everyone, it's me Darlene, the perfect time of day for recording, and it is 48 degrees in Hernando, Mississippi. Perfect for me. Sanford, Maine is 60 degrees right now, so it's warmer in Maine than it is here in Mississippi. But that's okay. It's going to be colder in Maine soon. I am here because I had a very eventful day in not all good ways. There's actually 3 things I'd like to cover, but I'm going to cover one, the hospice care, and the others can be other videos. Yes, I canceled the hospice that my mother's in and switching over to another one. Today was... they better not come talk to me. It's the 2 guys that they knock on doors with prayer pamphlets. Now, if they want to come and talk to me, they're going to be talking to you too. Hang on. They walked on by. Okay, yes, today was the straw that broke the camel's back. Is that what we say? You guys know that I had some issues with this hospice agency. Now, again, I know some of you think, oh, she's never happy with anything. I'm going to give you the examples. I think most people would not be happy, or really, you shouldn't be happy. I think too many people just accept stuff, and even though we're not paying for this out of pocket, somebody is, and it needs to be run like a business, and I'm a businesswoman. I like things to be run like a decent, well-oiled business. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm making shit up now. But you know what I mean. There are certain expectations, and I don't think I'm expecting too much. So one of the first things was, I believe it was maybe the first week that my mother had this hospice care here, because it's almost 3 weeks that we've been here. And one day, the aide, had me help with the whole bath. Remember, I talked about that. I had to hold my mother, help roll my mother, hold my mother while she bathed her, and then on the other side while she bathed her, and then while she put the diaper and the pads under her and all this and that. And she was like, okay, I'm gonna roll her and you pull that. I was like, no, let's switch sides, and I'll roll her and hold her and you pull that. It was like, oh my God. And then when she left, I had all the mess to clean up. The water, the towels. She didn't put anything away. And I was like, okay, either they do things differently here, or this is she just did a really bad job. Well, come to find out, that's not what they're supposed to be doing. She was supposed to be able to bathe my mother on her own and certainly clean up. I don't mind helping, but my thing was I wanted to be able to step out when somebody was here helping my mother. Give me a chance to go pick up milk if we need it, or to run to the post office, stuff like that. Then the next day, the person came and she was like, oh, she had her bath yesterday and she'll have one tomorrow, her sponge bath. So there's really not much of anything to do. And I said, well, she's in her wheelchair. I thought I would wait and you could put her in her bed and straighten her bed out. Oh, can she do that on her own? Because we don't do that. I was like, oh, you don't? It's like, so I had to show her how I do it. And she didn't even really assist me. I mean, she did a little bit, but it was me doing the work. And again, I was like, huh? And then she just left. She didn't stay her 35 minutes. And I thought, all right, so this isn't fun. But then we had an aide that I liked. And I thought, I'm not going to, hurry up and change, because we have one that is working out. But during that time is when I was also looking into the private pay. I mean, I actually hired somebody. I gave them my credit card info, everything to charge for my first full week of somebody coming in 4 hours every morning. And it was the night before that was about to start that I got a text saying that that person took another job. And I was like, yeah, so, send somebody else. But no, they don't have the staff. All right, so that agency, though, for the private pay for seniors, she talked to me about hospice. that they are closely doing business with. They recommend all that stuff. So she actually had the hospice person come here to talk to me during that setup for the private pay. And she was really, really nice. And I told her, I said, right now, I told her, I said, I wasn't happy about a couple of things, but right now things are okay. And I hate to just make changes, but I wanted to know all about what they do. And they seemed really good. And I said, I've got your card. And if anything starts to go sour, I will definitely be calling. So then let's fast forward to last week was the week that I had an issue with the social worker. I did a video on that. You can go see. We were in crisis mode here. And I'll let you watch that video. But I do want to point out, if I, as the caregiver, am saying to a social worker that we need help because I'm at my limit as to what I can handle, I would think that that should be taken very seriously because I myself am saying it. It's, it's different if there's a third party saying, wow, they don't know why, they're fucking everything up, they don't know what they're doing. Maybe you don't take that as seriously because it's somebody else saying what they think they see. I don't know, but I was myself saying it. I was being very open and honest, and I was very open and honest with that social worker when she had come the first week. Spilled my guts out about so many personal things. I mean, just so many personal things. And then she dismissed me by saying things like, just remember, this is only temporary, And I was like, yeah. So I didn't like that at all. And that led to me canceling an appointment with her when she was supposed to come out. I don't know. I'm so lost with maybe a day or two ago. I think it was my most recent video, so I think like 2 days ago. And I told her not to bother to come and I explained to her how I just lost respect for her because of that. And also the other thing is that I was asking for help getting started, at least getting my foot in the door as to having my mother placed. It didn't mean that she had to be placed immediately, but there's a lot that you have to go through to get to that point. And she just kept telling me, no, there's waiting lists, and with COVID, and it's just not going to be possible. But then when I talked to her after, telling her, no, don't even bother coming out here because you can't help me and there's nothing else to talk about, she was like, oh yes, there's other options. And I said, look, if there was other options, why didn't we get started that day? I was serious that I wanted to find a placement for my mother and at least get started. Why didn't we start that day? See, I don't trust myself because I'm so used to being told that I don't remember and I don't have anything recorded. But it makes sense to me that I was begging for help for finding a place for my mother, and I was being told no, no, no. If I was being told, well, we can do skilled care, I would have been like, sign us up, let's do it. I would have been saying that. But now she's telling me there were options, but yet we didn't discuss options. So I really didn't like that. That hasn't gone away from me. I'm thinking about it all the time. Okay, I need to take a break. Just had to take a breather. I'm worried because I'm so worried that I'm coming across as just somebody who just is difficult. It's, oh my God. All right, I have the right to tell my story. It's my story to tell. You guys don't have to agree with it. If you think I'm being too hard on people, then that's fine. I don't. I really don't. I do, but I don't. I feel like I must be because I don't hear other people, talking about stuff like this. So I feel like I'm the only one. Okay, let's move past the social worker now. There was another little tidbit that happened that is very You're going to say, what? And that's because my mother and her narcissistic personality disorder, that crept in, and that kind of ruined things a little bit with the aide that I really, really like. Okay, so here's how this went. My mother, for like 2 days straight, talked about she wanted catfish. She wants catfish. I want you to get me catfish. Now, without going into details, there's one thing I have learned. When my mother insists she has to have something that I absolutely know she is not going to like, it never ends on a good note. What she wants to do is, she knows that I know what she doesn't like, and she'll pick on something hoping that I never get it after she begs and begs and begs, so she can tell people she won't even get me that. So I could just get it for her, right? Then, if I get it for her, she will act like she never asked for this. What is wrong with you? You know I don't eat stuff like this. And don't tell me I should record it. That I've recorded my mother. I do record my mother, but I can't show her that because she insists I've made that up. You know how to do things with videos. So there's no winning when that starts happening. And just trust me, there's no winning. It's not a good thing. She wants to fight with me one way or another. She either wants to have a way to throw me under the bus to others by me not doing something so simple as getting her fish, or she's going to let me get fish and bring it to her and act like I'm a fucking nutcase for having done so. I decided I wasn't getting her the fish, and she just kept saying it in front of her aide, and her aide is like, you can get catfish right here at any gas station in the South. She's like, I said, no, this has nothing to do with the fish. Now, I have talked to her enough about the narcissistic stuff and tried to explain to her without going through, a lot of details. But I told her, she will not like it. She's only doing this because she wants to be able to say that I refuse to get it for her, or she wants me to get it for her so she can say how much she hates it and make me feel bad that I even thought she would want such a thing. That sounds bizarre, right? That sounds like something people would be like, what? That's stupid. So I said, please, don't worry about the fish. She doesn't need the fish. So the next day, that aide comes in with that fish for my mother. And I was like, oh, fuck. Now how is this going to play out? She's like, look what I brought you, Miss Marguerite. And my mother goes, what? And she opens that up, and I saw my mother's face go, what is that? And she goes, that's your catfish that you want so much. I took that as, I don't know. I want to believe she absolutely meant well, but I don't think it was her place as an aide who's working for an agency to take it upon herself to buy my mother catfish, especially after what I told her. It had nothing to do with the actual fish. That's not what my mother was after. And it almost made it like, look, your daughter won't get this for you, but I will. Anyway, so I told her, I said, just please don't be insulted when she tells you she didn't like that fish. And she just looked at me. So my mother said, oh, well, I'll have Darlene put that in the refrigerator and I'll try it tomorrow. I knew that my mother was a little bit pissed now that she wasn't going to be able to have the fight with me that she wanted, because now she got the fish, but it was from the wrong person. She doesn't want to be mad at the aide. She wanted me to bring that fish to her so she could, be mad at me for having done that. So we left it at that. I put the fish, I said, I'll wrap it up, I'll put it in the fridge. And the next day, my mother said, oh, I want such and such for lunch. And I said, yeah, you have the fish. She says, well, I don't think I want that now. I said, that's fine. She goes, okay, you can give me a little piece of the fish. And she didn't like it. Doesn't want that coating on it. It's the fish is too thin, the texture of the fish, all things I told her. And on top of that, it was a little peppery, and she didn't like that. So now she's like, what am I going to tell her? I said, tell her the truth. You didn't like the fish. But why did she even get me that? I never said I wanted this kind of fish. And I said, oh, yes, you did. So now she's got something to fight with me about. All right? So there was a back and forth about that. Ma, you said it repeatedly. That's all you were talking about. All I kept saying is, let's not talk about fish anymore, Ma, with the aide there. So she was like, she wasn't happy. She wasn't happy. And but that didn't blow out of proportion, because I was like, look, this is completely out of my hands. Why is it dark all of a sudden? So now let's move forward. Yesterday is the day that her aide was supposed to come back, and she was going to be asking about the fish. But we got a call in the morning from another aide saying, oh, I'm almost there. I'm coming in to see your mom. And I said, oh, where's so-and-so today? I said, I thought she was coming this afternoon. She goes, no. She says, I'm coming out this morning. Is that okay? I was like, yes. I'm just surprised. No, that's fine. And, I almost wanted to say, is everything okay with so-and-so? But no, that's none of my business. Yeah. She says, well, I'll be there in about 30 minutes. And I said, okay. This is in the morning. And she never shows up. Never get a call, never shows up. I finally, in the afternoon, went to Walmart to pick up a few things, and the phone rings while I'm in Walmart. It's like maybe 4:30, and it's the other aide, and she says, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it today. And I said, well, I'm confused. I said, because somebody was supposed to come this morning, and she never came. She goes, yeah, she called me and said that she felt like you guys didn't want her there. I said, what are you talking about? My mother likes her. I said, she was great with my mother. She gave my mother a massage because we had her before. And I said, that's just weird. I said, no, I just acted surprised because I just thought you were coming. I said, and I just was surprised. That's all. I told her, great, come on over. This is all good. And I told her, I said, but nobody even called us to let us know, because that stops things. My mother was like, oh, I don't want lunch. She could be coming. And I said, look, Ma, she hasn't come yet. So I didn't care for that. So today the aide comes. So I told her, and I said, I just feel really weird that so-and-so said to you that she didn't feel like we wanted her here. I said, because that is not the case. I says, and that, it just upsets me that she felt that way. She goes, oh, don't even worry about it. She goes, she's just weird. So I didn't like that now. I don't like co-workers throwing each other under the bus. I'm just not into this. And then she dropped it, and then she asked my mother about the fish. And my mother, gave her the list of things that she didn't like about it. And I told her once again that, the fish had nothing to do with, that's not my phone. It wasn't that she wanted to eat that fish. I said, you just, you kind of ruined her little plan of having it out with me one way or another. And I know that she doesn't understand that, and I probably shouldn't even bother to explain it, but that's exactly what that whole thing was. And now, she did the fish, she bought the fish, and kind of like, was like, ooh, looky what I got you. And then the whole thing with the aide, nobody even calling me. And I thought of calling the office and saying, look, if somebody's not going to show up at all, I would like to know about it so we can just plan what we're doing. So today after the aide left, I know this is a long story. Today after the aide left, the nurse came. And my mother was very antsy because of the fish thing that she had talked about. She didn't like that she had to say she didn't like the fish because she couldn't lie in front of me with the aide and say, oh, it was so awesome, thank you so much, because she knows damn well I'm going to say, Ma, you didn't like it. You just didn't like it. So my mother was in a mood, and things got a little bit heated with my mother right in front of me telling the nurse stuff like, she never wants me to get out of bed. She wants me to be bedridden. I was like, Ma, I'm not getting you up at 2 in the morning when I'm dead tired and you're tired. You know, so the nurse starts, calm down, calm down. Everybody needs to calm down here. And I says, well, you don't know the history. She doesn't. She's been here once and she doesn't know the history. So, and I wasn't going to start explaining the history to her. But then she gets on other things, and I finally said to her, look, I can't tell you the history here. I says, but I'm not going to have you telling me how I'm supposed to do things. I said, you're here to take care of her wound. You're not going to yell at me like that. I said, look, I said, I'm fed up with this. I was so fed up. Yes, my voice was elevated. It can't be right here because I'm in an apartment complex. But my voice was elevated, and I'd had it. I'd had it. So I told her, I said, we are absolutely changing hospice. And so she got on the phone and let them know that that's what I wanted to do. And, you know, my mother's like, I want to go to a nursing home. And, you know, and yeah, you know, my mother says that. But then, of course, as soon as that nurse left, she's like, they better not think I'm going to a nursing home. You know what I mean? It's like, so it just really, it was ugly. All right, so, but the nurse ended up trying to tell me things like, you know, you have only one mother to love. That's what she said. And I said, you do not know the history, period. You're not going to talk to me like that. And, you know, I just, I'm so over it. I'm so over it. So, yeah, so I called the other hospice the minute that nurse left. There was just too many things that I didn't like. The social worker and, you know, the aide was even starting to feel weird to me with the fish thing, and then the putting the other aide, you know, throwing her under the bus saying she was weird. And so it was just too many things, just too many things. So I explained all of this to the new hospice, and they absolutely want to help us switch over. And I just hope I'm making a good choice. I hope it's going to be better. I don't think it can be much worse. I don't know. I feel like putting my glasses on my head lately when I'm sitting out here. And that's it. That's my very long story. If you made it to the end, thank you. I appreciate it, because it was a rough day. It's been rough with the hospice. Ever since the social worker, I've just not felt right about them. And I don't think I'm, you know, just being too sensitive with all this. I don't think that things like that should be happening. People being dismissed or buying fish. So let's see if this can go better. I hope I have a better report. I hope it kicks in like really soon, like maybe Monday. This is a Thursday. I'm hoping by Monday we're switched over. That would just be really, really good. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe they can provide more hours. I would love that. And people that don't need for me to hold my mother while that she's being bathed and, you know, and whatever. I'll just take whatever help I can get. But I'm not going to put up with help that's not good. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.